Not every winter day begins with danger. Some begin with a choice. A quiet village sat under snow, with warm windows glowing like small promises. Near those farmhouses lived a clever crow. It had learned a simple rule. Winter is not only cold, it is a test. And the ones who pass are the ones who notice small chances. That morning, luck was waiting in the yard. A forgotten piece of cheese lay half buried in snow. The crow landed softly, looked around, and pecked once, then again. The cold air bit at everything, but the crow barely cared. Happiness can be warmer than feathers. This is enough, the crow seemed to think, and enough is rare. The crow did not stay on the ground for long. In winter, even a good bite can disappear fast, taken by wind or eyes or bad timing. So it carried the cheese to the forest edge and perched on a high branch where the snow fell quietly and the world felt safe. But deeper in the woods, winter was different. There, snow became walls. The wind became a whisper that never stopped. For a red fox moving alone, the cold was sharp, but hunger was sharper. Some days the fox found only a crust of bread. Some days only crumbs. Some days nothing at all. Hunger doesn't shout, it waits. Just one meal, the fox thought. Just one. The fox kept walking, not because it was fearless, but because stopping meant losing. Its paws sank deep. Its shoulders worked harder with every step. It lowered its nose to the snow, searching for a scent that often never arrived. Sometimes it scratched at a mound, sending powder into the air, then stood still, listening, hoping. Still, the forest answered with silence. Then the wind changed. A rich, clean smell drifted through the trees. Cheese. The fox froze. Its ears lifted, its eyes narrowed with a sudden spark. What if it's real? It wondered. What if today is different? The fox followed the scent, step by careful step. Snow did not crunch. Branches did not shake. It moved like a shadow that still wanted to live, choosing each paw placement as if the ground might betray it. Soon it saw the reason. High above, on a branch, the crow held a small piece of cheese. The fox stopped under the tree and sat down. It did not beg. It simply looked up. A long look can say more than 100 words. The crow watched the fox's stillness and understood. Hunger has its own language, even when no one speaks. That look, it's not greed, the crow thought. It's need. For a moment, nothing moved. Snow drifted down. The forest held its breath. One small decision can rewrite a whole day.
Then the crow made that decision. With a gentle flick of its beak, the crow tossed the cheese down. The piece fell like a tiny sun through the cold air. The fox sprang up and caught it in one clean snap. It swallowed fast, then slowed, tasting the warmth inside its belly. The snow was still cold beneath its paws, but for a moment, it didn't matter. I forgot what this feels like, the fox thought. I forgot what enough feels like. Up on the branch, the crow looked down. Not proud, not mocking, just quiet. Winter can be strict. Kindness can be stronger. The crow felt something older than pride. Nature could be harsh, yes, but even in a hard season, a small kindness could keep a story alive. One piece won't save the whole winter, the crow thought, but it can save today. And that was the start of something new. The next day, the crow came back. Kindness is not a single moment, it is a return. Sometimes it carried a crust of bread, sometimes another piece of cheese. Not always big things, just something real. Something that said, without words, I remember. Not much, the crow thought, but enough to matter. Under the same tree, the fox waited. It learned the sound of those wings. It learned the shape of that shadow moving through falling snow. It learned that waiting did not always mean losing. I'm not invisible, the fox thought. Not anymore. Days passed. Snow fell. The forest stayed cold. But the fox no longer sat there like a stranger. It sat there like someone who belonged. It no longer felt alone, and it no longer felt empty. Sometimes help doesn't change the world, it changes a life. And the crow, grateful for every bite it had ever found, learned something too. In winter, survival is not only about being clever. Sometimes, survival is about being kind at the right moment. Because one small piece of cheese can turn an ordinary day into a special one. And when winter is shared, it becomes easier to carry. Days turned into weeks. The snow kept coming. But under that tree, something stayed warm. Not the air, not the ground, the promise. One small gift became a pattern, a crust, a bite, a return. Because the crow had learned this: winter doesn't end faster, but it hurts less when someone remembers you. And every time the fox looked up and saw those wings, it knew. This forest was still hard, but it was no longer lonely.